What's up, boys and girls? How are you? Welcome into a Week 10 NFL live stream. He is Pat Fitzmaurice. I'm Matt Perrault. We are on the air for the next hour or so, breaking down every game that's going to take place today, including one going on at the moment where the Falcons are leading the Colts by 1 in the fourth quarter. Pat, how are you? Did you get involved at all with the Berlin game this morning?
You know, I did get involved, and I wish I hadn't. I've got the Colts, and I laid the points. That was earlier in the week. I just felt the Colts coming off a really bad game. We're going to bounce back in a big way against the Falcons, and hasn't happened yet. I mean, I feel like they should have a lead right now, but it's not how it's worked out, Matt.
Well, yeah. I mean, not kicking that field goal when they were down by 6, or was it no, down by 4. They just kicked a field goal to make it 17-16. They would have the lead right now if they just kicked that field goal rather than going for it on 4th and 2 from their own 10-yard line. And Jonathan Taylor got swallowed up by that rush defense by the Falcons, which has played pretty well here today. Given I agreed with you. I thought the Falcons were going to have a tough time stopping this Colts offense on a bounce back week. But look, it's Shane Steichen in October, November, December, late October into November, into December. The numbers are horrific for the Colts under Shane Steichen. They have done this numerous times where they've gotten off to tremendous starts and then really fell apart as the season progressed. We'll see. This would be a big win for the Falcons. They're on this bad losing streak after losing to the Patriots last week and that missed extra point. This team has talked about redemption here over in Germany, so we'll watch it. They have the football, 7 minutes to play here in the game, up by 1, 17-16. The Colts were 6 or 6.5 point favorites going into this. So if you're holding a Falcons ticket, you got to like where you're sitting at the moment with the football, 7 minutes to play in the fourth quarter. Guys, thanks for being here. We'll do our best to answer some questions in the chat if you guys have some here, but we will begin this conversation with the Jets and the Browns, why they're playing. So we have to talk about it. The number is 2 or 2.5 for the Browns, a road favorite against the Jets. The total is 37.5. I don't know if I will blink even like a little bit watching this game. Where are you, if you were at all, Pat, on Jets Browns?
I don't want to bet either side, and I don't really want to watch it, Matt, but I bet the over this morning.
Oh, okay.
Am I nuts? Like the Jets just traded away their 2 best defensive players, Sauce Gardner and Quinnen Williams. The Jets are getting Garrett Wilson back, so their passing game maybe gets a little more credible. And I know the Browns offense isn't great, but you know, they've run the ball pretty well at times with Quinshon Judkins, and now they've got David Njoku back in the lineup, so can get the double tight end thing working. I don't know. I just feel like 37.5 is a pretty low bar in this game. So I feel like the over is a pretty good percentage play.
I don't hate it at all, and the weather really is not going to be that big of a factor. I think there was some thoughts going into the week that there could be some inclement weather in the New York area that might cause this game to be a bit more on the low-scoring side, but I think your read's accurate. I wonder about the offense for the Jets as to how many points are they going to score against one of the best defenses in the NFL, and if they can't move the football, I think the Browns will score on the Jets. I just don't know how many points the Jets are going to score on the Browns. So if you want to look at a team total for the Browns, I don't mind that wager, but 37.5 is a pretty low total in the NFL, and these teams turn the football over. So if nothing less, you may get fumbles, interceptions, you may get some things to have that. So I think that's probably a good look there. New Orleans and Carolina is I can't believe I have to watch this game of the day, but it actually might be a decent football game because the Carolina Panthers are favored by 5.5, and this hasn't happened in like forever. They're never favored by this many points at home, but this is an indication of how bad New Orleans is. I think you can lay it with the Panthers here. I'm not betting it, Pat, but how do you feel about the Panthers at home laying 5 or 5.5?
I feel the same way, Matt. I'm willing to lay the points with the Panthers, and it feels very strange to say that with the Carolina Panthers, but I like the idea of betting against Tyler Shuck and laying fewer than 7 points to do it, is what it comes down to. I just don't think the Saints offense is very functional with Tyler Shuck. Not that I'm a big Bryce Young fan either, but Dave Canellis is doing a very good job of hiding Bryce Young by leaning into the running game. Like in Bryce Young's last 4 starts, he's averaged 25 passes a game. He's won all 4 of those starts. And meanwhile, on the other side of the ball, the Saints have no running game to speak of whatsoever. Their offensive line is in tatters right now. I mean, they lost Eric McCoy, their best lineman, their center, a couple of weeks ago to a torn biceps. They just traded Trevor Penning to the Chargers, and Talise Fuaga, their starting left tackle, is out with a high ankle sprain. So it's just, I don't know how they're going to move the ball. And it's going to require Tyler Shuck dropping back to pass a lot. And that is probably a very good thing for the Carolina Panthers.
That's my prop on the game. Under 18.5 completions for Tyler Shuck here today. I don't think he's going to have much success throwing the football against this defense for the Panthers, but success has come to the Colts. Jonathan Taylor, 80-yard touchdown run. He goes to the house, but the 2-point play is knocked down at the line of scrimmage. So it's 22-17, which is kind of like rubbing salt in the wound there for you, Pat.
Yes,
because that 2-point play would have been nice, would have given you at least at the moment having the Colts cover. But now you need a touchdown for the Falcons with 6 minutes to play. They have the football and they know they have to score a touchdown. So they'll go for it on 4th down. You might get a late field goal. That's still in play. So if you're on the Colts, don't give up on it at the moment. You still may be live here to cash, because that is a huge run by Jonathan Taylor. Really poor execution from a rush lane perspective from a Colts, and Jonathan Taylor is just too fast in the open field. So big run as his MVP type season continues for Indianapolis over in Berlin. 22-17, 6 to play. Falcons getting the football back. I can't make heads or tails as to why the Panthers are such a different football team at home than they are on the road. Like, it's Jekyll and Hyde that they play horrifically away from home, but at home they beat the Cowboys. They've pounded teams 30-0. They've taken apart the Falcons at home this season. What do you make of the Panthers when they play at home?
I wish that had held last week against my Green Bay Packers in Lambeau Field, Matt.
Right.
Yeah, like home field advantage clearly does mean something to them. And that's one reason why I think, especially when you're getting an indoor team outdoors this week, that's another reason for me to like the Panthers. It just seems like a really good spot for them.
Our first pros versus Joes game of the day. The Miami Dolphins hosting the Buffalo Bills. The professionals are all over the points. They're laying it here. 8.5, 7.5. It doesn't really matter. The professional money has come in. Some books have seen some other side money to kind of drive this down to 7.5, but mostly books are seeing professional money on the Bills. The Dolphins are getting a little love from the public, which you'd expect. It's a lot of points. 8.5 points at one point in time. I've seen a 9 in the market during this week, even 9.5 at certain sports books this week for the Miami Dolphins at home. The Miami Dolphins almost won in Buffalo against the Bills in the first matchup. This is the return. Look, answer me this question. What do you make of the Bills defense against the Dolphins offense? Because if the Dolphins score 28 points today, 1, the over's in play, but 2, I think they're live to win the football game outright. Where are you on Bills Dolphins?
Yeah, I think they are going to be able to move the ball a little bit. It really depends on whether the Bills pass rush. It's just hard for the pass rush to get home against Tua, who's just looking to get the ball out so quickly. And the Bills pass rush has been really good, but I don't know if it's going to matter with the way this Miami offense is designed. And, I feel dumb here, Matt, going against the sharp money. But like, the Dolphins haven't completely quit under Mike Macdonald. And when the Dolphins have been underdogs of 6 or more points during Macdonald's tenure, they're 4-1 against the spread. Meanwhile, during Sean McDermott's tenure as head coach with the Bills, they've played 8 road games in which they were favored by more than a touchdown, 2-6 against the spread in those games. And there have been a couple times this season when the Bills have failed to cover as big favorites, including, you mentioned it, against the Miami Dolphins in week 3, where if not for a really horrible roughing the punter call, like, the Dolphins could have potentially sprung the upset on the Bills in Buffalo. So, boy, 9.5 seems like a lot, Matt. I'm just, I haven't bet it yet, but if I do bet it before kickoff, I am going to put a very small bet on the Dolphins.
Yeah, and I think it could be teased as well. I mean, I think if you're in the market, if you see 8.5, I mean, a 6-point teaser puts you at 14.5 for a home dog in the NFL. So I think the Dolphins are definitely an option on a teaser leg just to keep the game relatively close and not have it, and not have it die on you. You might be sweating it late, but look, I think the Bills are going to have a tough time. My only play in this game is Devon Achane over 98.5 rushing and receiving yards. I don't like this Bills defense, and I don't think they stop the run. I don't think they stop running backs very well. Achane's been a huge weapon for this offense. And look, while Mike McDaniel may not be around long term, and he might wind up being fired at the end of the year, the Dolphins have been pretty clear that they're going to wait and see. I think you're right. I don't think the team has completely quit on him. And Tua is trying to prove that he can be an NFL quarterback. It's not just Tua playing for his current head coach. He's playing to justify his existence, period. Like, yes. No one thinks that the 11 interception he has thrown, the way the team has performed this season, there's a lot of questions about where he goes forward. So I think the Dolphins are the right side. It's the same bet I made with the Raiders on Thursday night on the road against the Broncos. Like, when we get to November, in a divisional game, you're giving me 9 points. It's just kind of like a principal play. Just take the 9 points.
Isn't it weird that the sharp money is pouring in on the Bills as a 9.5 point road favorite? It just seems counterintuitive to me.
I would agree. I think the reason is because I think they think the Bills have to go in, like last week, right? They played extremely well last week on the road, and they won in a game that most people were like, okay, that probably is a dangerous spot for them. They're going to overlook and they'll have a look ahead to this game against the Dolphins. That didn't happen. So I think as we get to November, the Patriots, we'll get to them in a second, but I think they're losing today. So the Bills getting a big win today makes that divisional race gets closer. So I get the theory with the Bills, but I like points. I like home dogs, and I like divisional home dogs in November. So I might be dead wrong. We might be dead wrong, but I think I think it's the only side to play. I'm not comfortable laying the points. And look, the pros have been wrong a lot in their life too. So it's not like just because there's pro money on it, it's automatically going to cash. Jacksonville and Houston is the game I can't figure out, and I'm staying far away from it because I can't get around the idea that the Jacksonville Jaguars are only 1 point dogs or 1.5 point dogs here on the road to a Texans defense. I think it's going to shut down that offense. What? Because Jacoby Myers is now a Jacksonville Jaguar. Their offense is going to work all of a sudden. Why is this number so small?
I don't know. Well, maybe I'm not seeing something either, Matt, because I've bet the Texans.
Okay.
Like I feel like this is on the strength of their defense. I feel like that's the story of the game. And I love the under too. Like, I think it's going to be a complete rock fight. Scoring is going to be a real challenge, but I think it's going to be more challenging for the Jaguars against this Texans D.
Yeah, 37.5. The number opened up 41.5. Just been steady under money here coming in between the two. And I think I still would bet the under 37.5. I don't think either team scores. There are some really crap games. I mean, New Orleans, Carolina, Cleveland, and the Jets, Jacksonville, Houston, crap games in the early window. Baltimore at Minnesota, though, is not a crap game. I'm actually really curious. The Ravens are laying 5 or 5.5 points on the road to the Vikings. I didn't like the Vikings last week. My bad. I liked them the week before. My bad. I don't know what to make of this Vikings team. They're at home. They play much better at home. Their defense is legitimate. Brian Flores is a good defensive coordinator. JJ McCarthy played way better than I thought he was going to play last week against the Lions on the road. They're back now at a dome situation. I have nothing on this game. Who wins? Ravens, Vikings.
I'm with you, Matt. I'm not touching a side on this game. Like, I do not bet against the Vikings in US Bank Stadium. I just won't do it. But I can't be on them either when the quarterback advantage is so pronounced for the Ravens in this game. So I think the Ravens probably do win a close game. But I'll tell you, Matt, I do like the under here. Like, the Vikings defense is just a completely different animal when Andrew Van Ginkel plays. We saw that last week in Detroit. Van Ginkel hadn't played since week 3. He was back last week, and the Vikings just completely flummoxed the Lions in Detroit.
Look at that word. You use flummoxed. Look at you.
Yeah.
Vocabulary.
So, wow. Yeah, I mean, Van Ginkel is he is the queen in Brian Flores' chess set.
Yeah.
Like, he is such a key guy for this defense. So I am fascinated by this game. I have no idea what's going to happen here, but I don't think we're getting 50 points.
So just to go to be devil's advocate, and I'm not saying you're wrong, but devil's advocate, Vikings are 7-1 to the over this year. If they go over 8 in week 10, they would eclipse their total overs from 23 and 24. They had 7 last year. The Ravens are 6-2 to the over this year. That's the best start they've had in a while. They were 20-7 to the over the last 3 seasons, 18-6 to the over when they have Lamar Jackson playing. So just it's a trend. It doesn't mean anything. It's just saying that there is a trend there that says this game potentially could be high scoring between the two.
Yeah.
And the worry is that Ravens defense, right? Like I think you're right about the defense for the Vikings and what they have played, and having Van Ginkel back is huge. My concern is what we have seen out of this Ravens defense this year. Yeah, it has not been good.
It's getting healthier though, Matt. It has been getting healthier, and they just, they've had a big hole up front in the middle of their D line, and they just traded for Draymond Jones, who, he's not a star or anything, but it's a body. Right. They needed bodies up front. They got another one, and the Van Ginkel return makes the Vikings defense a lot better. So I think these defenses are probably better now than they have been for most of the season when injuries were a problem for both of them.
We have 1:54 to play in this football game, and the Falcons have the football on the 10-yard line, first and goal. So let's see what they can do here. Clearly, it's 4-down territory, trying to get a game-winning touchdown potentially here. But if you are looking at your ticket, I'm going to say you're probably going to lose this, Pat. If you're looking at a Falcons +6 or 6.5, you probably feel pretty good here about it, because even if they don't score here on 4th down, the Colts will take knees and just run this game out. So most likely this is going to be a cover for the Falcons, but they're trying to get the outright win here, as this offensive line has been blowing up. My gosh, look at that hole down to the 1-yard line. The Colts defense is tired. They've just leaned on the running game with Algier and Bijan Robinson during this run, and the Colts are taking timeouts, trying to preserve some time here. But it is for 2nd and goal from the 1-yard line now for the Falcons, down 22-17 with a chance to go into the end zone and get a lead here late over in Berlin.
How many terrible games have we given to the good people of London, England, and then we go to Berlin, Germany, and they get a banger right away?
Yeah, they get an awesome game, back and forth battle, big plays. This has been a very good game, yeah. And maybe that's something to be said for the game in Spain coming up. That's what, next week is the Spain game? That's coming up on the schedule at some point here. And, this is going to be big. I mean, if the Falcons score here, this is a lot about Daniel Jones, and is he going to be the guy long term? Because I was listening to a couple of people over this week about the contract situation for Daniel Jones, and there's some in the NFL that thinks he's in line for a $150 million payday from the Colts to be their starting quarterback going forward. Because if they don't pay him, who's the guy? Touchdown. Was that in? Yep. Touchdown Falcons. So 1:44 to play. They'll go for 2 here, clearly. So they're currently, it's 23-22. They're going to go for 2, try to make it a 3-point lead for the Falcons, but plenty of time here. If it's just a field goal, it's all they need is a field goal either way. Plenty of time with 1 timeout and a $1:44 to play. Let's see Daniel Jones go make that money. $150 million contract. I'm not so sure I'd be jumping up and down from the Colts to do that, but they have no choice, Pat. They don't pay him.
Yeah.
What do they do?
Anthony Richardson 3.0.
Right.
That's your alternative. That's it.
Yeah. So I think he's got him in a tough spot. Like, he's got the Colts in a vice at the moment in terms of, I was listening to someone talk about his agent, and like what his agent, like, they're not taking any discount. Like, his agents have been pretty clear with the Colts that they're not taking discounts, that you better be backing up a Brinks truck to pay Danny Dimes. And that's sort of like, wait, what? Like, really?
Yeah, Daniel Jones having teams over a barrel, like that just seems strange.
And that's, the Colts have put themselves into a difficult position. So, 2-point play is good. Drake London, 2-point play. So it's a 25-22 lead, plenty of time. They're indoors, right? Or are they outdoors in Berlin?
They're outdoors. Yeah, it's not a covered roof.
Okay, so we'll see how far of a kick you can make here in Berlin, but field goal to go to overtime, plenty of time. We'll see if Daniel Jones can get it done, but that's one of those scary things when Daniel Jones has to pass. Things might not go the way you want them to go. All right, Patriots and the Bucks. I told you this on Tuesday. The number hasn't moved. I can't figure out why, but I was asking bookmakers on my other show all week, what the heck is going on with this 2.5? Why hasn't it not moved to 3? And there's a lot of pro money on the Patriots keeping it down. When it goes to 3, they take the 3. At 2.5, the pros are laying it with the Bucks. I'm on Tampa. I think the offensive line for the Patriots is going to have a tough day today up against this Todd Bowles blitz-happy defense. I think Drake May is going to have to run the ball, run for his life. I like the rushing attempts over for Drake May, over 5.5. But I'm taking the Bucks here, laying the 2.5. Where are you on Bucks Patriots?
I don't like either side, Matt. I'm not taking a side. I know you're on the Patriot or on the Bucks.
Yep.
And feel like maybe it's the Patriots are just kind of due to not throw their best punch one of these weeks. And I totally get that.
Good. I love my team. I just don't think they're good enough. Yeah. Like the Bucks, the schedule. Oh my gosh, huge return for the Colts. Sorry to interrupt. Out to midfield. Basically, Abdullah almost in a field goal range already. Yikes for the Falcons. That's horrible. Uh-oh. Now it's a touchdown. Now you're going for the win. Forget going for a field goal here. You're going for the win if you're the Colts. But no, I just don't think the Patriots, who they have played. Look, I love my team. They're 7-2. They're 7-2 because like they're not great. They're not awful. They're just like a decent football team that's not as awful as the Saints or the Jets. Like just in that category.
Yeah. You know what I like here, Matt? I do like the over here.
Okay.
Because I think this is going to be a pass fest because you cannot run on the New England Patriots. No running back has gotten 50 or more rushing yards against them this season. It's really hard. And you just said this, you can't run on the Buccaneers. Todd Bowles, that's what he does. He stops the run. But the Bucs will absolutely give up big plays in the passing game, which is kind of where the Patriots have thrived anyway. And, you know, Baker Mayfield, you want to let him drop back 40 times today? He's happy to do that. And I think you can do some business against the Patriots secondary. You know, Christian Gonzalez is good, but some of these other guys not super beautiful.
He has a concussion though, Pat. So he's questionable. He's questionable for today. So that's another reason why Patriots. I'm with you. And no Ramondre Stevenson. He's out of this game today.
So we're going to see a lot of passing. The clock's going to move slowly. We're maybe going to see, you know, when you pass, you can get turnovers that create, you know, short fields for the other team. I think we're going to get a lot of points in this game. I think it's going to be a high scoring affair.
There's a big call coming up here in Berlin. So Tyler Warren caught the football, made a football move. As he was turning, he did take an extra step, but the ball was pinned up against his shoulder pads. It was then stripped out and recovered by the Falcons. So they got to see whether or not he did enough with a football move, turning up field with possession to justify this being a fumble. And if this is a fumble, the game's over.
What's the ruling on the field?
Ruling on the field is incomplete pass.
Interesting.
So they're gonna the ruling on the field is incomplete. I think they're gonna hold with an incomplete pass. If I was in the booth, I would say there's not enough to overturn that. But this is a game deciding call here for the booth. If it's a fumble, and they're going to rule it is an incomplete pass. Okay, so Colts still alive here with the football. 2nd down and 10 from about midfield here. I also look at the Patriots as a Patriot fan. They have been on this incredible streak, and a lot of it has been at home. And now they go to Tampa. They're going on the road, and everyone's calling it the Brady Bowl and everything else. Has been a whole lot of attention placed upon this. And Drake May is everybody's midseason MVP. But he won't have Butte today available. So, like, the Patriots don't have receivers that make you go, oh, my God. Stephon Diggs is a good receiver. He's off an ACL injury. He has 2 tight ends. He has 1 running back now, really. 2 guys are hurt, 1 for this season, and now with Gibson, and now out is Ramondre Stevenson. I just think this is one of those spot plays. Like, the Patriots just have had great luck. It ends today. Like, the season's not over by any means. It's just that you're going on the road to Florida to take on Baker Mayfield, who is, I think the Bucs are one of the best teams in the NFC, and the NFC is a lot stronger than the AFC this year, in my opinion. So I'm going against my team. I'm laying the 2.5 points with the Bucs.
The one, maybe the biggest Achilles the Buccaneers had earlier this season too, was that their offensive line was so banged up, and now they are basically back to full health on their offensive line, which is a big thing for Mayfield.
Yep. Daniel Jones takes a monster sack on 2nd down. It's 3rd and 21 now for the Bucks, and Daniel Jones is going to try to run for it, and he's going to get quite a bit of yardage here. He's all the way to the 39-yard line, almost in a field goal range. My goodness, the Falcons lost containment. Whew, huge run for Daniel Jones. Goes for 19 yards with 1:17 to play, gets out of bounds and saves the timeout, nearly already in field goal range for the Colts here, trying to go to overtime over in Berlin. One more game in the early slate, and it's in your backyard. The Giants on the road against the Bears. This number has crashed from a total perspective. I got 47.5 yesterday. It's now 45 as we continue to go down, down, down. You're on the ground. How windy is it going to be? What direction is the wind blowing at Soldier Field for the Bears and the Giants?
Yeah, I walked the dog earlier this morning outside. It was not pleasant. We got some snow overnight. It's chilly for sure, but the wind was not bad yet. I know they are calling for sustained winds of 20, 21 miles an hour. And I was telling you before we started the show, Matt, like I'd be a little more worried if it was an east wind coming in off the lake on that sort of exposed Soldier Field right out on that little peninsula. Okay. So I don't know. I don't think it's going to destroy the passing games. Okay. But the gusts are something else. Like the gusts can be play wreckers today. And there were some gusts when I was outside.
Well, if you're the Giants, right? If that's the case, right? If gusts are really dangerous, are you letting Jackson Dart go ahead and just chuck the football today?
I don't know if we're letting him chuck it, but he always is a very willing runner.
Right.
The Bears' run defense isn't good. The Giants have the worst run defense in the league, at least by DVOA. And how bad do you have to be as a run defense to be considered worse than the Bengals or the Dolphins, Matt? Pretty bad.
Yeah.
So, and the Bears, meanwhile, have averaged like 184 rushing yards a game over their last 4. And their offensive line is either top 5 or top 10 in pretty much every run blocking metric. Like, we could get points even if we don't see a lot of success through the air. That's the one thing that kind of scares me. I'm not betting the total either way. And I love the over earlier in the week. I mean, the Bears have their top 2 cornerbacks out. The Giants have Paulson Adebo out, one of their cornerbacks.
No Cam Scatterbo, no Major League neighbors.
Yeah.
Like, how's the offense going to be for the Giants? But by the way, Daniel Jones bloodied. He's bleeding. Oh, no. They have the ball on the 35-yard line. He just took another sack. It's 3rd and 16 with 34 seconds to go. They're going to get more yardage here down to the 26-yard line. So a 4th down coming up here. Are they going to? No, they're not going to go for this.
No, they got a Michael Badgley.
Field goal attempt coming up here for the Colts to send the game into overtime, which, again, you're not dead. Okay. Remember the new overtime rules.
Yep.
You're not dead. They kick the extra point. So if the Colts get the football and go down the field, score a touchdown and kick the extra point and then stop on the other side, you're going to cover. So this is the new rules here. Like this is the danger when you're laying 6 or 6.5 points and the game goes to overtime. It used to be like, they don't kick the extra point, I'm good. No, if you're plus 6.5, you're not live. This is sweat time if this kick gets made by Michael Badgley coming up. He did miss an extra point in this game, so we'll see. A 44-yard attempt for him is up, and it is good. So we are going to overtime, barring 25 seconds to go, 2 timeouts. I don't know. You let my play coach here, Pat. If you let Michael Penix go and throw the football here with 25 seconds to go.
Let's see what happens on the kick return where we get it. But, and the Falcons are on their 3rd kicker this year. So probably not. I'm probably playing for OT.
Yeah, it's like on the road, you pay for OT. At home, you go for the win. When you're in Berlin, I don't know. Like, what do you actually do? Did you just go, I don't know. 25.
Just to be safe for the Colts, though, I'm like quintuple teaming Drake London on this next play.
Yeah, Sauce Gardner and somebody else over the top to take Drake London. But then again, you got to worry about, screen passes to Bijan and whatnot. So you got to be a little careful coming up here with that. Guys, today's show is being brought to you by Hard Rock Bet. It's that time of the year. Big game day today. You got all sorts of things going on besides pro football. You got NBA action. You have NHL action. You have college hoops coming up tomorrow and today. It's all happening at Hard Rock Bet. If you haven't tried your first bet on Hard Rock Bet yet, there's still time to do so. You place a $5 wager. If it hits, you get your winnings plus $150 $100 in extra bonus bets. They got the Hard Rock Bet Stats Hub as well for trends, streaks, and stats to help you guide your picks. Hard Rock Sportsbook app is only legal in Florida it's the only legal sportsbook in Florida, but it's also legal and live in Arizona, Ohio, New Jersey, Indiana, Tennessee, Virginia, Illinois, and Colorado. More states logging on soon. Plus, Hard Rock Bet offers new promos every single day. Download the Hard Rock Bet app and make your first deposit. The kick goes kind of nowhere. So 21 seconds to go, 2 timeouts, 1st and 10 for the Falcons. I mean, come on, you're 3-5. You got to go for this. Like, you got to go for this. You
Take
can't
a couple shots.
Yeah, you can't. Like, you're going nowhere. Like, you just 7-2 Colts. You have the football in your hands. You have a ball on the 26-yard line. You have to find a way to make this play. You have to find a way to. I mean, Penix has been pretty good. Passes of over 10 yards. He's throwing at 50% at the moment here against this Colts defense. First pass is wow. He dropped it. Wow. Ran with it before he had it. My gosh. Mooney was wide open at the 45-yard line. He just dropped the football. Wow. My goodness. If you're standing on a +6.5 ticket, you're going, what is going on? How you can't make that drop? You're wide. Oh, goodness. You're about 20 yards from field goal range at that moment now. 15 seconds to play. Good. But the Falcons are going for it. This is what you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
Throw the ball down the field.
Love it.
Then now you have that's going to be grounding. That's going to be grounding. That's it. So we're going to overtime. Huge play by the Colts defensive line. Penix just kind of dumped the football. So it's 3rd and 10 with 9 seconds to play. OT is where we're going here for this game. All right, late slate. Let's talk about Arizona and Seattle here. Number has moved today and this morning, which I'm really surprised a little bit because, look, the Cardinals against the Seahawks can't beat them, but that's with Kyler Murray. Now you've got Jacoby Brissett, who just went on the road and beat the Cowboys last week. Number has gone to 7 here. There's a lot of teaser money in the market taking Seattle down, including me. I went from 6.5 down to 6. You can go from 7 down to 1 here on this game. But where are you on Seattle hosting the Cardinals today?
Yeah, I obviously would like to get this at less than 7, but I love getting this Seahawks at 7 points or less. I mean, there are a lot of power ranking systems, Matt, that say Seattle right now is the best team in the NFL. Their defense is no joke, man, and they are super efficient on offense with their passing game. I love how they're playing. I'm surprised that, I feel like this game should be more like 10. Quite on. They're getting the Cardinals on a short week.
Yeah.
And I know there's this narrative that they're better with Brissett than they are with Kyler Murray. I don't think that makes them a potent offense by any means. They've got this weird 2-headed backfield going on. They've only got 2 decent pass catchers on the roster with McBride and Harrison. I think Seattle's got them outclassed, and I will happily give up 7 points or fewer if I can get fewer. Don't mind teasing it down to 6.5 or 6.
I don't understand what is going on with Mike McDonald and this team at home, because they are so much better on the road, in particular in the Eastern time zone, like they were last week.
Strange.
They don't the 12th man was supposed to be their thing, right? Well, playing in front of the 12th man has not been good recently here for the Seahawks. So it's wild. Last home game was on October 20th. They won and covered against the Texans. You have to go back to October of 23 to find the last time that Seattle won and covered in consecutive home games in the NFL. What are we doing? They're supposed to have the best home crowd. It's supposed to be this big advantage. Right. It hasn't happened. I think today it happens. I think all that out the window. I'm with you. Seattle, big. I think that they run all over the. I think they pass and run. Big day for Sam Darnold today.
Good, Matt, because they still owe me from that loss to the Buccaneers earlier this season, where I had bet the ranch on Seattle in that game, and they killed me.
Yeah, I like Seattle a lot this year. They're my number 1 team in football. I mean, I have bet them to win the Super Bowl at 14-1. They are my number 1 team in football. So I think that they go out there and show that today. The other game, late game, is San Francisco hosting the Rams. That number is now ballooned all the way up to 6. I've taken this, and on the other side of the teaser, taking Seattle down from 6.5 to 0.5 point. I'm giving the 49ers 12 points here at home against the Rams simply because Kyle Shanahan owns Sean McVay. McVay in this spot, 4 times road favorite at San Francisco. He's 1-3 straight up and 1-3 against the spread. I like Shanahan to keep the game close. Maybe he loses, but I'm giving the 49ers 12 points here. Just don't get blown out by the Rams. How do you feel about San Francisco hosting LA today?
I've been looking at this game every which way, and I just can't get my head around it. Like I know the Rams are the better team, and the 49ers are so beaten up on defense and have lost so many guys. Robert Saleh has to be MacGyver with this defense, just keeping it together with chicken wire and chewing gum. And I don't know how he is going to stop a really high-powered Rams offense that at its best can just cut you up and drop 40 on you very easily. So, but at the same time, we know the McVay Shanahan history, and Shanahan has so often gotten the better of this matchup. Not always. There was a 3-game winning streak for McVay squeezed in here, but I can't. If I were going to bet anything here, Matt, I'd probably just take the 49ers on the money line at like plus 210 or whatever it is right now. That is probably the only way I would bet it, but I think I'm just going to lay off.
So 18 meetings, McVay and Shanahan, 11-7 straight up, 11-7 against the spread for Kyle Shanahan. Now, this is a different type of matchup because of who we're talking about. Without Nick Bosa, the team is 9-15 straight up without him. Is Brock Purdy ever going to play again? Like, is he ever playing again?
The most mysterious turf toe injury in the world. I could understand holding him out of the game at MetLife Field. Yeah. You know, notoriously bad field, but I figured he'd be back this week and no dice. Like, this is a worst case of turf toe I've ever seen, Matt.
It's such an obvious situation where the team thinks that Mac Jones is the better quarterback. The Kyle Shanahan.
So? You think that's what it is? A soft benching? I mean, Purdy has been really good for them for what, 2.5 years?
They just paid him huge amounts of money. It was the same thing with JJ McCarthy, who played really well last week, and maybe we'll see what he plays this week. But like, I don't know. I find it very interesting that why wouldn't you want your guy back? Like, it feels like he should be back by now, given how much time he has missed. And the fact that Mac Jones hasn't played great every week. It's not like Mac Jones is having this like Sam Darnold type season. Like, he's okay, but it's weird. It's a very strange situation. I don't fully understand what's going on with the quarterback spot, but here we go. Detroit and Washington. The number has been coming down steadily all week. Got to as high as 9. We're down to 7.5 with the Lions on the road against Washington. And everyone is quoting the 12-game in a row streak for this Detroit Lions team. Last 12 games against the spread, straight up, they are 12-0 following an outright loss. They lost last week to the Vikings. So everybody's on a dome team outdoors on the East Coast. Are you, Pat?
I am. I think the Commanders are going to be a bug on the Lions' windshield in this game, Matt. Like, coming off that loss to the Vikings, embarrassed at home. And yeah, since the start of the 2023 season, Lions 9-0 straight up in games after a loss, and they won by an average of 15.1 points.
Right.
So, and like, where is the morale going to be for the Commanders after losing Jaden Daniels last week, after losing Marshawn Lattimore, after losing Luke McCaffrey? Just this disastrous game where you were completely trucked by the Seahawks on national television. And the Commanders' pass defense is so bad. They're giving up 8.8 yards per attempt. That is more than half a yard worse than the Cowboys, Matt. We talked about this on Tuesday on our best early bets show, and I love the Lions then, and I still love the Lions now.
Interesting. Overtime, by the way, 25-25. The Falcons have the football first here in overtime, so we'll keep an eye coming up on that one. But look, I've teased this down. If you guys are, I can't give it out here because it was a daily juice play, but I took the Broncos down to 2.5, and the other side of it is the Lions -2. I can't see the Lions not winning this football game. Now, by how many points, I'm not really sure, but Marcus Mariota has not been good. So, like, I think it has a lot to do with the fact that this offense is not going to be very effective here for the Commanders against one of the best defenses, an angry defense, a Dan Campbell angry defense here in this game. So, if this is an absolute laugher of a game, I'm not going to be surprised by any means. This could be an easy walk to the window. This might be just one of those games where the books just take it, in the stomach and say, okay, fine. Like, couldn't do anything. We tried our hardest. We got some pro money coming back of the 8 or the 8.5, trying to figure it out, but that's all we're going to wind up doing. Flags coming down on 3rd and 9 in the secondary. So the Colts will extend this drive for the Falcons. So that's a huge break for Atlanta here with a flag in the secondary. Holding is the call. So 1st and 10 now for Atlanta. That drive continues with 9 to play in overtime over in Berlin. Guys, track your bets and get line alerts straight to your phone by downloading the BettingPros app with Sportsbook Sync. Automatically track your bets across all major sportsbooks in one spot. Easily monitor your bet performance by sport and bet type, including picks, props, and parlays. Create custom betting systems to find winning trends and profitable opportunities. New users can get 6 months of BettingPros Premium for free with their first deposit at a wager at one of our partner sportsbooks. Learn more by going to bettingpros.com/premium. Sunday night we go, and the Chargers hosting the Steelers. Look I don't care about the narrative, Pat. I got a primetime Justin Herbert, and he's won 5 straight games in primetime. He's been red hot. He's dating a celebrity now in Madison Beer. He's got to keep his props, his riz, as the kids call it, up here. Tough spot for this Steelers team because of how much traveling they've been doing and how many times they've been playing on primetime. Mike Tomlin is good on Sunday night, though. I laid the 2.5 points. How do you feel about Chargers and the Steelers?
Will Justin Herbert have his riz without Joe Alt to protect his riz, Matt?
Yeah,
that is
tough.
The question. That's the thing that scares me. Yep. I can't put it. The only way I'm going to bet this game is if I have a great day and I'm feeling a little frisky going into the night game, because I don't want to touch this game. I don't know where this Chargers offense is going to be without Joe Alt, who is such an important piece for them. And I'm just generally staying away from the Steelers until I have a better feel for what this team is. Yeah. Like, all of a sudden their defense is like, they were getting trampled the running game earlier in the year. Lately, they've been fantastic against the run. They held Jonathan Taylor to 3.2 yards per carry last week, and we've seen what Jonathan Taylor is doing today against the Falcons. So I worry about the Chargers being overvalued with Alt out. So I want to stay away from this game.
2 points for a lineman, strange, though. It went from 4.5 to 2.5. Some books are still at 3.5. Which is strange to me. That's a little bit on the over. I know they are. When Joe Alt plays 50 or more snaps for the Chargers, LA is 14-5 straight up. When he either doesn't play or plays fewer than 50 snaps, they're 3-5 straight up. This season, when he starts and ends the game, the Chargers are 4-0 straight up. So to your point, they are it's crazy that an offensive lineman is creating that, but the numbers would bear it out that they really do need Alt on that offensive line. Punt for the Falcons in tremendous field position for the Colts. They are currently at their own 38-yard line. 1st and 10 here for Daniel Jones. Field goal wins the game. Both teams will have possession. Really a nasty possession. Great pressure on Michael Penix. They sacked him on 3rd and 12 to go ahead and force the punt. So that defense now has to sort of save this here, or the Colts will move to 8-2. If they score a touchdown here, they don't kick the extra point because they wouldn't need it. So
correct.
If you're at plus,
I got it at 6. I can still push.
Okay, so at 6, you're okay. 6.5 plus 6.5. If they score a touchdown here, you're good. So if you're on 7.5, something like that, if you laid those points, you're dead. But if you have a chance to, if you got the plus here, if you took the points, you got to feel pretty good about an opportunity here. But first, the Colts have got to score. So we'll see. Or just get into field goal range for a Michael Bagley game-winning kick with 7:19 to play. This does have tie vibes. Just going to say this. There are some tie vibes rolling around here between these two teams on this. Guys, one more reminder. You can score 6 months of BettingPros Premium for free. Just make a deposit and place a wager at a partner sportsbook. Premium gives you access to the sharp AI tools, betting systems, the prop bet cheat sheet, and the same game parlay builder. All tools you need to bet smarter. Claim your upgrade now at bettingpros.com/premium. Well, Pat, for you on the way out, let's go ahead and run through all your plays here as to what you like.
Yeah, the ones I like most, I like the Lions -8 or whatever they are currently at against the Commanders. I just feel like the Lions are going to squash the Commanders in this one. I like that Jaguars-Texans game under 37.5. I just don't see where the points come from in this game. And I like Pat's Buccaneers over. Sorry, we've got under on the graphic, but over is what I like in Pat's Buccaneers. I just think with both teams being so good against the run, we're going to see a lot of throwing in this game, and it's going to make for extra plays. The clock's going to be stopping a lot. I think we're getting points. For props, I like Kyle Monangai over 49.5 rushing yards. I know DeAndre Swift is back, but Monangai was getting like half the carries anyway before Swift got hurt. Giants have the worst run D in the league. The Bears' offensive line has absolutely been mashing 184.5 rushing yards a game for the Bears over their last 4. And the weather favors a run-heavy approach today. Demario Douglas, under 37.5 receiving yards. I know a lot of people think he's going to pick up the slack. Matt, he hasn't played more than 17 snaps in a game since week 3.
Wow.
And the Patriots have talked about playing Kyle Williams more. And then Jacoby Myers, you can't get this bet everywhere, but I know our friends at Hard Rock Bet have this one. Okay. 42.5 receiving yards. New team. Has been with the team less than 7 days, and the Jaguars have to face that Texans defense. Like, I don't think Myers gets anywhere close to this number.
Okay. By the way, Colts are at the 25-yard line, 3rd and 2 in field goal range, looking to win this game here. We'll see what they do on 3rd down, but 218 rushing yards by Jonathan Taylor today. So if you were playing Jonathan Taylor in fantasy, you lost. He had a hell of a day today running the football. And now he pops through and he's down to the 12-yard line with 5 to play. Well, maybe they're going to go try to score a touchdown here. Oh my, all you teaser folks, everybody that teased this, I guess, well, 1 from 7, a field goal gets you there too from a teaser perspective. So I guess it doesn't matter, but as long as the Colts score and win, your teaser bets are going to come on in here. But this is interesting. Game winning touchdown. The Falcons look tired at the moment. Arm tackling Jonathan Taylor is not exactly the smart move. For my plays today, we're going with the Buccaneers laying 2.5 against the Patriots. I think that this is just kind of a, sorry, Patriots, you're up against a real football team here. It's not a Cupcakeville. I hope I'm wrong. As a Patriot fan, it would be great. I just don't think I'm going to be. The Chargers on Sunday Night Football, I like Justin Herbert. I don't buy that defense for the Steelers. I think all those turnovers were more the Colts last week than what happened with the Steelers defense. I think Justin Herbert throws the football a lot here against that secondary, and they cover. My under is 47.5. It's now 45. I don't know how much lower I would bet that, but I got that last night at 47.5 for the Bears and the Giants with the wind game happening. As Pat has said, though, the wind is not going the right direction, but I still think wind could be a factor. The teaser is the Seahawks being teased down to 0.5 point and the Niners getting teased up to +12. That is my afternoon game action here. Touchdown, Colts, game over. Jonathan Taylor, 3 touchdowns. You get a push, Pat. How about that? That's a hell of a push. 31-25 over hits. Push on the 6. If you laid 6.5, you are sick to your stomach on that. No extra point. And everyone gets to learn the rules of the NFL. Watch Twitter. Watch the absolute shit show that's going to be on Twitter here, because if you laid 6.5, everyone's going to go, wait, no extra point? No extra point? Why no extra point? No extra point. Sorry. Sal, go ahead and throw that one thing back up again. I can just give the props out. I am going here on the prop market. Tyler Shuck under 18.5 completions against the Panthers. I don't think he's going to throw the football very well here today. He hasn't thrown the ball well for the Saints offense. Drake May over 5.5 rushing attempts. I think it has more to do with him running for his life than it does actually him having real rushing calls for him. I think he's going to have to run the ball a lot given the offense and what's happened here with the offensive line. And then Devon Achane over 98.5 rushing and receiving against the Bills. The Bills have not done a great job of stopping anybody from a running game perspective. He may go over 100 yards rushing today, given what that Bills defense has looked like. But Achane over 98.5 rushing and receiving yards. You guys are going to get Pat and I on Tuesday breaking down week 11 in a couple of days. But before we roll here, we won't hear from you in between because of Monday. Your team plays Monday. Who wins Monday Night Football with the Packers?
I got to go with the Eagles. I'm just not feeling it right now with the Packers. And it's going to be on a special teams gaff. I'll even give you that, Matt. Like, Packers have such bad special teams. It's going to be a problem.
Man, I don't know. Again, it's like Shane Steichen and Matt LaFleur are the same person. When they get to November, you got to be worried. You got to be careful about backing Shane Steichen and Matt LaFleur. So,
by the way, Matt, we got someone in the chat shouting out Indiana football.
Yep.
And
he lives there. Addison lives there.
Oh, he does? Okay. Yeah. So that's where my son is attending school right now. Is that Omar Cooper catch the catch of the year, college or pro?
It's not even a question.
Unbelievable.
Not even a question. I mean, I don't know. It's the best catch of the history of IU football. Like, show me a better catch by a Hoosier in the history of IU football. I mean, Gus Johnson's call, I can't stop playing it. It's the funniest thing I've heard all year. Like, he lost his mind. He literally lost his voice and lost his mind. And I mean, look, Indiana shouldn't have been in that position with Penn State. I think that's a bigger worry going forward for the Hoosiers, but they found a way to win a football game that they were 0-13 in Happy Valley in their history. They had never won ever in that building. And they won it in that way, with that drive, with that catch, which I don't even know how in the heck he got his foot in. Like, what a play. The catch alone was insane. The foot down was just remarkable.
Unbelievable. And props to the back judge for seeing it all and calling it right on the field.
Yep. It really, really fun stuff. I mean, really fun stuff. Addison says if your son ever needs anything, he can take care of him, because I know him. I know him personally. So
appreciate you, Addison.
He's a good dude. Guys, thank you for being here. We appreciate it. For Sal in the back, he's Pat. I'm Matt. We'll talk to you on Tuesday for a look ahead on week 11 for the NFL. In the meantime, let's go hopefully make some money here in the NFL.